Hello, welcome to your new moon in Aquarius forecast. My name is Adina. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in this video, I will be going through the chart for the new moon that we are having in Aquarius, February 9th, 2024. For the first portion of this video, I will get into the chart, and then for the second portion of this video, I will get into all 12 rising signs. That way, you're able to see how this new moon is showing up for you personally. So, if you would like to adjust for your location on the planet so you know when that new moon is exact, you can put that new moon at 20 degrees and 40 minutes of Aquarius. So you also want to check your own personal birth chart to see if you have any personal planets or points at or around that 20 degrees of Aquarius, because those personal planets and points will be activated by this new moon. You also want to check to see if you have any personal planets or points around that 19 degrees of Uranus, because Uranus is the dispositor of this new moon and will also be activated. And this new moon is also squaring Uranus. So this new moon is very groundbreaking. And if we talk about Aquarius energy for a second, Aquarius rules the collective, humanity, the people, also the internet, AI. And we just had those Taylor Swift AI photos leaked. And I feel like that happening around this new moon is showing us what is to come. I really believe over the next 6 months, we're going to start to see a lot more on the internet that is questionable, where we have to ask ourselves what is real and what is not real. You have to have that discernment. 2023 was that year of developing a strong intuition and spiritual practice, because we need it going forward. Things are going to look crazy, be crazy, and it's going to be so hard to determine, to know what is actually truth and what is not, especially being the year of the US presidential elections, knowing there's agendas, knowing that there's narratives out there on all sides with everything. I mean, you have to have that discernment at this time. And having all of this energy in Aquarius, which can really shake up society, shake up humanity as a whole, especially now with Pluto, things are about to get crazy, especially in February, where we have all these activations of Pluto in Aquarius, which is something that we've never felt before. Even when Pluto was in Aquarius last year between March and June, we didn't have any conjunctions with Pluto in Aquarius. And so things are about to feel different, look different, and be different. And that is the only constant thing in this universe is change. So I think if we release the fear and not get scared of the change that can and is coming, and just trust, even in our own individual lives, just learning how to let go and just trust divine timing is really the only thing we can do now. And having a strong spiritual practice and intuition so that you can be discerning, and so at the time of this new moon, we've got the new moon here, 20 degrees, squaring Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus, right? Taurus rules money systems, our financial institutions. There can be a lot here with digital currency implemented. There could be a lot around our financial institutions. And I'm sure somewhere, I really think there is going to be something around money with this new moon that we're going to see play out over the next 6 months, or something really implemented over the next 6 months between the new moon in Aquarius and the full moon in Aquarius. I think we are going to see a lot around our money, around food, around inflation. I think we're going to see maybe possibly prices rise, which I know it sucks, but it can definitely be a thing with this energy. So I think we need to be kind of watching for that. Also, like I kind of already mentioned, AI. AI is ruled by Aquarius, and having Pluto in Aquarius is really going to show us in all these like activations. And I really think a lot of this is we're going to see this month with the activations of that Pluto at 0 degrees. So by the time we have this new moon on Thursday, Mercury is going to enter Aquarius and form a conjunction to Pluto on that Monday, so February 5th. And this is when there can be something like really implemented, like we can hear information, or there can be something leaked on the internet or online, similar to the Taylor Swift AI pictures. This is something I think we're going to be moving through and dealing with and seeing a lot. So we're going to have that discernment and not just always take everything at face value. I think it's going to be a huge thing, here on out. And so I think this new moon really kind of sets the tone for that as well. Just a lot of the craziness on the internet, a lot of the craziness around AI and AI innovations. Aquarius is also the energy of innovations, and same with Uranus. Uranus is all about breaking free from things like rebellious chaos or rebellion, chaos, and disruption. That is Uranus. So we're going to start to see a lot of weirdness. There's going to be a lot of weirdness, which is really kind of starting with this new moon in Aquarius. Now, at the same time of the new moon, we have Venus still in that trine to Uranus. Venus also ruling again money, finances. Now, in our own personal lives, there can be something here around relationships or self love, self worth. Venus has been very busy the week of this full moon. She's coming off of the T square to the nodes, and then that trine to Uranus. So, throughout this entire week, there may have been a lot showing up for you around your, insecurities or self love or self worth, and a lot of karmic energy. We're in a lot of karmic patterns and cycles coming to an end. A lot of this energy is being disposited by Saturn and Pisces. And so there's a lot of karma here. And for the first few months of 2024, I feel like we're ending a lot of karmic cycles and we're stepping into new cycles as long as we're doing the work. And you have to have that self awareness to really pick up on what is showing up for you, being able to pinpoint those cycles that you've been in, especially when it has to do with self sabotage, self undoing, fears. It's that kind of Pisces energy. Pisces can also have to do with the past and past lives. So these can be cycles you've literally been in for lifetimes and breaking out of them. And that's again that Uranian energy, breaking free from these cycles. So through this entire week of of this new moon, pay attention to, and I'll be talking about this obviously in my weekly forecast, which I'm going to record as soon as I've done this, but pay attention to what is showing up and kind of coming even to a head with this new moon as far as that goes. Your self-love, your self-worth, and the karmic energy that you're moving through when it has to do with you and others in your life, when it has to do with your needs, wants, and desires and others, because that can also be a thing. Now, I kind of got sidetracked, but anyways, with this Aquarius energy, we have Mercury here. And so there's a lot around mindset. There's a lot around breaking free from the same kind of mindset that you've been in time and time again. And that can also have to do with these karmic cycles as well. So there can be a lot of wanting to break free, a lot of wanting to explore, a lot of wanting to think differently, think outside the box, take chances, take risks. And we're really in this energy of doing that and just trusting, just believing. I talked with the last lunation because that last lunation was T squaring the full moon we had in Leo was forming a T square to Jupiter. And I talked a lot about in that forecast, how are you believing in yourself? This is all about beliefs, right? Belief systems and believing in the journey, believing in the process, believing in yourself and what it is you want. And we're still in that energy and keeping that optimism and belief in what it is you want to draw into your physical reality, especially while we have that Jupiter and Taurus. We're really in this powerful manifestation energy. So I think at the time of this new moon, there can be, and even too, like at the time of this new moon, we've got Mercury squaring Jupiter, right? So there can be a lot of that energy still kind of arising where it's like your mindset, like you're wanting to break free, you're wanting to try these new things, but it's like trusting the process you're having a hard challenge with. And so that's where we want to make sure that we're not getting in our own way when it has to do with fears or worries or stress or even the unknown, because we're in this energy. There's so much Uranian energy at this time where it really is about taking chances and kind of just trusting that you're always on your highest timeline, trusting the process and divine timing. Now, we also have Mars coming off of that sextile to Neptune, which I love. Mars still being in Capricorn, but also being disposited by that Saturn in Pisces. There's so much energy disposited that kind of falls back to this, Pisces energy, which is why I say we're just in so much of like this karmic cycles coming to an end, kind of closing out and being able to just finally be done with it and move on. But it does require that self-awareness and figuring out like what is coming to the surface for you, because this has to do with you, right? Not other people. That's that Saturn and Pisces. Like Saturn is wanting you to become accountable for you, for your energy, for where you can get in your own way, not blaming it on other people or where other people can get in your own way. It's about where you can. And so really being able to pick up on certain things when they're kind of showing up for you. That's key. And to healing, right? It's key to actually healing and letting go and that personal growth that you want to step into, growing, part of your personal evolution. So I love the energy that we're in. It can be challenging. It can be difficult. I talked about this in the monthly rising sign horoscopes for the entire month of February, that it's going to be an interesting month. There can be a lot showing up because we're, again, in that transition of old karmic cycles ending and really being able to let them go, but having to kind of move through that. And so, this month is just key to being able to heal and move on. And that's really being activated with the Venus square to Chiron, that North Node Chiron conjunction. And then even at the point of this new moon, moving off of Venus T squaring the nodes, which makes this energy so karmic. Now, if we talk about just this Aquarian energy a little bit more before we move on, because there can be so much activated with this Aquarian new moon. So I already mentioned if you have any personal planets or points around that 0 degree point, there can be activations for you. Now, watch the rising sign portion because you'll be able to see how this energy is showing up in your own personal life. But also, Aquarius generally has this energy of trying things different, wanting to break out of societal norms. Also, Aquarius brings in this ability to emotionally detach from a situation so that we're not making decisions strictly based on our emotions, but we're able to separate ourselves from the emotional kind of our emotional body to move forward, which helps when it has to do with taking those chances, taking those risks. So I wanted to also mention that as well. But we want to be watching, protests, riots, what's showing up on the internet. There's going to be, I think there's really going to be a lot initiated here around people standing up, people coming together on all different topics. People are so strong. And again, this can have to do, the Saturn sextile to Jupiter and all this strong Jupiter energy. People are so strong in their beliefs that they feel so passionate about what they believe in, which is a great thing. But it's getting to a point where it can cloud our judgment, or some people, right? Like with this Mercury in Aquarius, there's going to be a lot of people wanting to, do things kind of groundbreaking, I guess it would be the best way. And I hope this is all kind of making sense. But this new moon in Aquarius is definitely setting the tone for the next 6 months. So there's going to be a lot on the internet, a lot of craziness. We already seen this stuff with the Taylor Swift AI photos. There's going to be a lot more. And I'm going to be digging up some news articles because I think I might start adding them into my presentations where we can actually kind of see what is going on, because I just thought that having Pluto in Aquarius and then just before that the new moon in Aquarius, like the stuff with it, I just thought it was a clear representation of, and the square to Uranus and it's just a clear representation of this energy. So we're going to see a lot more of that. We're going to see a lot more around AI, a lot of craziness that we want to watch for. So I hope that this helps you kind of get an idea and a feel for the Aquarian energy. I think we're going to see a lot around money and finances. There's going to be a lot of disruption around that. So there can be, somewhere around the world. Sometimes it doesn't show up everywhere, but you watch the news and it's sometimes so like it's almost baffling, like that how accurate the astrology is when you see certain things presented. And so I think there definitely is going to be something with money, possibly, food supply, people protesting, riots, especially, the following week we have Mars entering Aquarius, forming that conjunction to Pluto. So we can definitely be seeing a lot of volatile um situations at that time, which I will get into also in a separate video. But I hope this helps you kind of get a feel for what this Aquarius new moon is activating for all of us and for you. Thank you so much for joining me. And now let's get into all 12 rising signs. Aries, you have this new moon in Aquarius happening in your 11th house of friends and friendships, social groups, online connections, social media, networking. All your affiliations and associations are in the 11th house. So this is a great time for you to set intentions around, the themes and topics in this area of life. This new moon is really setting the tone for the next 6 months. So pay attention to what is showing up for you at the time of this new moon and what is implemented even when it has to do with your thoughts. We're in this energy of really thinking outside of the box. And what are you can be, even having Pluto in Aquarius, I mean, your mindset could be shifting around the people that you want to be associated to, the people you want to connect to in your life. And so pay attention to how that is shifting for you, how your mindset is changing around those connections in your life, even when it has to do with groups, right? Like social groups. Now, this new moon is also squaring Uranus, and you have Uranus in your second house of money and finances, material possessions, also your personal values. So there may be something showing up unexpected around those themes and topics that you're having to address at the time of this new moon as well. Taurus, you have this new moon in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So, this is a great time for you to set intentions around your career or around what you want to be known for out in the world. This new moon is setting the tone for the next 6 months. Now, we also have Pluto and Aquarius. And so, pay attention to what is shifting and changing in this area of life, especially when it has to do with your mindset, having Mercury here in the 10th house at the time of this new moon. How is your mindset shifting around your career? And how is your mindset shifting around what you want to be known for out in the world or your public image? Now, this new moon is also squaring Uranus, and you have Uranus in your first house. So there can be something really groundbreaking with this energy when it has to do with your mindset and what you want to be known for out in the world, and this new direction that you're moving into. Gemini, you have this new moon happening in your 9th house of higher education, higher knowledge, long distance travel, philosophy, belief systems. And so this is a great time for you to set intentions around those themes and topics. Now we have Pluto in Aquarius, and we also have Mercury in Aquarius. And so there can be a lot changing around your belief systems at this time. This new moon is also setting the tone for the next 6 months. So pay attention to your mindset. There's a lot of wanting to break free here and think outside of the box in a sense. And so your mindset can be completely shifting at this time. And this is where you really kind of take notice to that, especially having Pluto here. I mean, Pluto can be very psychological too. So this can be around belief systems or religion, or even I do feel it has a lot to do with belief systems and religion, but it can also have to do with maybe traveling the world, or going back to school, philosophy, all of those ninth house themes and topics. So really pay attention to your thoughts and your mindset at this time. But this new moon is squaring Uranus, which is giving us this groundbreaking energy. We're really wanting to try something new. We're really wanting to break free in some way. Cancer, you have this new moon in Aquarius happening in your 8th house of your partner's finances, money coming in from outside resources, taxes, inheritance, psychological healing, and transformation. So we now have Pluto in Aquarius, which Pluto can be very psychological as well. And we have Mercury here. So there can be a lot changing in your psyche, a lot changing around your mindset. just in general about life, because it's in that eighth house. The eighth house also has this death and rebirth energy. So there can be, this new moon is also setting the tone for the next 6 months. So pay attention to your mindset, pay attention to what is shifting for you, what is transforming mentally. Now, we also have this new moon squaring Uranus, and Uranus is in your 11th house. Now, your 11th house has to do with friends and friendships, social groups, online connections, social media. So there can be something connecting between your mindset, this shift in mindset, and your friends, or this shift in mindset and networks and social groups that you're connected with that you're having to address at this time. Leo, you have this new moon in Aquarius happening in your 7th house of relationships and one-on-one connections. So this new moon is our first new moon in Aquarius with Pluto. And also, this new moon is setting the tone for the next 6 months. So pay attention to what is showing up for you around relationships and all of your one-on-one connections, even business partnerships. At this time, there can be a lot shifting in your mindset about who you want in your life when it has to do with relationships and when it has to do with those personal connections. You also want to check your ascendant, right? Because this new moon is opposing you. So there can be a lot showing up around you and your close personal connections, and how your psyche and your mindset is changing, and how you're wanting to do things different, or how you're wanting something different from those you love. Pay attention to what is showing up at this time. Now, we also have this new moon squaring Uranus, which is giving us this groundbreaking energy. And Uranus is in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So there might be some conflict or tension around your career and public reputation and your relationships that you're having to address with this square. But having Mercury here and then also having Pluto, I mean, Pluto is going to be shifting and changing, who you want to be connected to in your close personal connections. So that can all be really shifting at this time. So really pay attention to what is showing up for you mentally around who you want to be connected to. Virgo, you have this new moon in Aquarius in your 6th house of work, health, and daily routine. Now, this new moon is setting the tone for the next 6 months. And having Pluto now in Aquarius and also Mercury, your chart ruler in Aquarius, there can be a lot around shifting and changing your mindset when it has to do with your health, when it has to do with your routines, when it has to do with employees, possibly pets, all of those 6th house themes and topics. But really pay attention to what is surfacing at the time of this new moon, because there's this internal urge of wanting to do something different, whether it is becoming serious about your health or nutrition, or really changing your routines in some way. Now, this new moon is also squaring Uranus, and Uranus is in your 9th house of belief systems and philosophy and long distance travel, also religion. So there can be something around your belief systems showing up that you're having to address, or something around these 9th house themes and topics bringing tension to the 6th house, maybe bringing tension to you changing your routines, or something along those lines. Or it can just be bringing up this internal almost need to break free from something or shift and change something. Libra, you have this new moon in Aquarius in your 5th house of children, creativity, passion, pleasure, play, hobbies, interests. All of those fun things is in the 5th house. And so this is a time for you to set intentions around those themes and topics. This new moon is also setting the tone for the next 6 months. And we also have Pluto in Aquarius. So the energy here is quite intense. And having Mercury in Aquarius, there can be a lot around these themes and topics that is shifting mentally for you. Your mindset can be completely changing around children, or around romance, or around what really lights you up. So pay attention to what is surfacing at this time. Now, this new moon is also squaring Uranus, which is in your 8th house of your partner's finances, or money coming in from outside resources, or psychological healing and transformation. So there can be a little tension here with the 8th house and the 5th house, but this is really, wanting to break free from something, wanting to change, wanting to do something something different. So pay attention to what is showing up for you mentally at this time. Scorpio, you have this new moon in Aquarius in your fourth house of home, family, property, and real estate. So this is a great time for you to set intentions around those themes and topics. This new moon is also setting the tone for the next 6 months. Now, we also have Pluto in Aquarius. So this area of your life is changing quite significantly, especially I think when it has to do with your psyche or even your mindset in some way. Like maybe you thought you would never move, and now all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Maybe I want to take a move somewhere or, try something different. We're really in this energy of wanting change, wanting to break free from something. This new moon is squaring Uranus, and you have Uranus in your seventh house of relationships and one-on-one connections. So there can be something around relationships and home that is bringing tension or just this need to change. Sagittarius, you have this new moon in Aquarius in your third house of community, neighbors, neighborhood, mindset, communication, also siblings, cousins, vehicles. So this is a great time for you to set intentions around those themes and topics. This new moon is also setting the tone for the next 6 months. And we have Pluto in Aquarius and also Mercury in Aquarius. So your mindset can be really shifting at this time, especially too, because it is that third house. So pay attention to how pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to how your mindset is shifting. There is this internal need to want to break free from something or do something different. And it can have to do with your daily routine or your health or habits, having Uranus in that sixth house and this new moon squaring Uranus. So really pay attention at this time to what is surfacing for you when it has to do with your mindset. Capricorn, you have this new moon in Aquarius in your second house of money, finances, and material possessions, also your personal values. So this is a great time for you to set intentions around those themes and topics. This new moon is also setting the tone for the next 6 months. Now, we also have Pluto in Aquarius, and Mercury in Aquarius. So there's a lot about mindset at the time of this new moon, and your mindset can be completely shifting and changing when it has to do with money, when it has to do with your finances. Now, this new moon is also squaring Uranus, so it's bringing in this need to do something different. So pay attention to your mindset at the time of this new moon, because maybe you're wanting to break free from something, maybe you're wanting to not have as many financial burdens, or maybe you're just wanting to do things differently to bring more money in. But pay attention to your mindset at this time, especially when it has to do with your money, your finances, and your values. Aquarius, this is your new moon. So pay attention to where you have your ascendant, because this new moon is affecting you personally. There can be a lot showing up at the time of this new moon around your mindset, around what you want, what you need, this new direction you're wanting to move into. There can really be this internal almost like disruption of wanting to break free, wanting to do something different. It's like you feel very restless at the time of this new moon. And so, pay attention to your mindset, your thoughts, what is showing up for you when it has to do with thinking outside of the box or doing things differently. I mean, you're Aquarius rising, so this is something that comes naturally to you, but this is a time where you can just feel very restless, and your mindset can be completely shifting and changing when it has to do with what you need, want, and desire, and the journey and direction that you're moving into. Pisces, you have this new moon in Aquarius happening in your 12th house of spirituality, places that are hidden like hospitals, asylums, retreat centers. Also, the 12th house is very karmic. The 12th house can also have to do with self-sabotaging or self-undoing behaviors. So this is a really good time for you to be paying attention to those subconscious programs, almost like what you do unconsciously. This new moon is squaring Uranus, so there is this internal need to do something different or break free, and this would be a really great time for you to reprogram your subconscious, or to really pay attention to those self-undoing behaviors and kind of breaking free from that, releasing those karmic ties that you have when it has to do with those programs and it has to do with those karmic cycles that you've been in. This is a time where you can really break free and heal from that.